Hey, what's up, guys? This is going to be a video response to a video from Paul Burnett from Anabolic Bodybuilding, and he's somebody that I've listened to for a number of years now, and I think he's a really good balance of scientific and anecdotal evidence that supports how to run anabolics well. He's coming from a bodybuilding background, but he did a video today that I want to do a response to, which is kind of the age-old debate of Masteron / Primobolan. And I've made a few videos myself on this in the past, but we're going to revisit it because he didn't mention something and it's also something that a lot of people don't mention when comparing Masteron and Primobolan that I'm going to mention here. But before I do, I'm going to just go over a few things first. Primobolan is a little bit more anabolic than Masteron, okay, just by a little bit. Off the top of my head, what is it, like 7 of the anabolic ratings of Primobolan's like maybe 60, and Masteron's probably 50, I'm going to say, something around that. Anyway, so, but they're pretty close. They're very comparable compounds. Now, also Masteron is known to dry you out a little bit more, but it's also faster acting, and I've noticed this myself. Primobolan takes a little bit, it's a bit more of a slow burner, okay? But both are considered safe compounds. Both are great choices. I've done both great effects, although I'm kind of on the Masteron side of things. I'm not gonna lie, like in taking compounds, but although I might go back and try Primobolan. We'll see how it goes. Although at the same time, it's kind of hard to get both. Although in Canada, I do know a source where I can get both. But leaving that all aside now, the one major point that I want to make that a lot of people don't mention when comparing Masteron and Primobolan is how it affects SHBG, sex hormone binding globulin. Okay, and without getting into the whole, physiology and biochemistry of this, when sex hormone binding globulin lowers, the amount of free androgens is able to be used by the body better. Like, just to say in like the simplest way possible. Drugs work better, okay? So the testosterone you're taking, the other compounds in the stack you're taking, which are anabolic, work better. Well, guess what? Masteron both lower SHBG. Primobolan does as well, but Masteron lowers it more aggressively. It's like, that's why one of the reasons why people took Proviron. I don't recommend taking Proviron. I've never taken it. Like, maybe it would be a good thing to take, but I just wouldn't recommend taking it because Masteron does the exact same thing. Okay? And the reason why people take Proviron is to lower SHBG because it's not really anabolic in itself. But it makes the other anabolic compounds you're taking work better. And from my understanding, that's why elite powerlifters, at least at one time, that I learned about in my studies of anabolics through the years, they took Masteron for that exact same reason. And bodybuilders aren't taking steroids to dry themselves out to be stage ready. Powerlifters, think about it. They're not doing it to do that, although maybe there's a bit of a drying out effect that might help them out in some regard by not bloating out too much. I don't know. This is not what this video is about. But I do know that they took Masteron, and I don't think it was for the anabolic, necessarily direct anabolic effect. It's like the indirect. Sometimes drugs work in some indirect method, okay, that then benefits. And that's what you leverage. And that's why I think Masteron's a good choice, because when you add it to something like even just taking more testosterone, that testosterone is going to have a better effect. Now, if you add it in combination, which I do, this is my go-to stack with a little bit of nandrolone, only 200-300 milligrams a week, with like 300 to 400 milligrams of test, 300 to 400 milligrams of Masteron, like 200 or 300 milligrams of NPP. It's going to make that NPP work better. Okay, because it's lowering SHBG. Long story short. So that's not what, I don't hear anybody talking about that when comparing the Masteron slash Primobolan in the Masteron slash Primobolan debate. They just look at things like very superficially, like anabolic scale, or whether Masteron is used for being stage ready or not. Which, yeah, historically that's what it has been used for, because people look at it from a bodybuilding lens of how it has generally been used, but not how it's used to its full potential, if that makes sense. And both are safe compounds. Again, I think they could be used essentially in a lot of ways interchangeably, although as Paul was saying in his video, he would prefer maybe Primobolan in the off season and then Masteron in a contest prep. That may be very well true and such, because okay, he's the going from a bodybuilder lens, okay, and I'm not a competitive bodybuilder, but for somebody who's just wanting to put on strength and size, Masteron I think is a great choice for the exact reasons which I mentioned, and it will make the other compounds you take work better. Okay, and there's almost like a balancing effect, symbiotic effect that happens with Masteron and other compounds. I've heard other people talk about it. People who take Trenbolone, they say if they took just test and Trenbolone alone, they might feel a bit like weird, but then Masteron kind of balances their mood out a bit too. And Masteron has a definite effect on mood and central nervous system, and sexual things too. But so there's something to be said about that maybe it balances out the negative side effects that are generally attributed to roid rage and such, like things like that. Okay, so I'll leave it there. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. But I wanted to do that just to add on, because just to reiterate, it's not something when I hear people talking about Masteron and Primobolan, this is not something I hear people talk a lot about. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Primobolan does it enough as well, lowers SHBG enough too. Maybe it does. I don't have the direct data to prove that. I'm just going based on what I think I know. So I'll leave it there, guys. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Thanks for watching. Peace.